Good morning, this is Mr. Mann. I would like to thank you for this opportunity to teach at your school. I am really looking forward to becoming a part of the team here at Normal High School. The success of my students is very important to me. I not only want them to be successful in my classroom, but in their lives as well. To do this, I will incorporate group projects and group discussions such as Socratic seminars and fish bowls. These activities will get students involved in the lesson as well as interacting with each other, which will increase and enhance on their social skills. Technology is also very prevalent in today's society, and I want to be able to incorporate technology in my lessons. I will use cell phone games like Kahoot and videos to get students involved and actively learning while also being...
Hello, Mr. Mann here again, still discussing the needs of the students that I have in this class period. I found that I have an ELL student. With ELL students, there are several things that you can do to help them, and I plan to put some of these practices in place. Some of the things that I want to do or I need to do in class are to take care of my enunciation, speak clearly, and use a rate of speech that the student can follow. Stay away from sayings or things that the student cannot understand because he's from another culture and he doesn't understand the day-to-day sayings that we have. Use word walls and a lot of visual aids in the classroom where I can put vocabulary and pictures for the student to go and use as a reference whenever they can. A lot of labeling of the materials or things in the classroom so the student can reference that also. Videos. Once I like to introduce different subjects, I would like to use videos, or I will be using videos so the student can visually make the connections about what I'm talking about. Readings and books to be used in the classroom. I would like to choose some that are culturally diverse and relevant. Some of them probably have material that includes Spanish and English, and that makes that would help my student identify more with the readings, learn more about different cultures, but also be able to follow along and participate. So he can relate, and I can help the other students relate to him. He has a very low reading level, so of course we know why, but I will try to get a reading buddy for him, try to get other students to help him, and of course give him any extra help that he may need. Other two students that I have that have learning disabilities, I don't know what their disabilities are at the moment because of course the semester hasn't started, but I have to make a point to check their paperwork to see what their modifications will be. And of course, be careful to apply and use those modifications in class. Who knows what they are going to be? It could be probably just having them sit closer to me, give them extra time for work, give them time to have a snack, or be able to, or having to redirect them or repeat things several times. There's all sorts of modifications out there, and whatever the students bring, I will need to apply those, and I will. If I have any questions, I will contact our special ed person in the building to clarify any questions that I may have in order for me to serve these students the best way that I can.
Hi, Mr. Mann here again. I know that I already talked about how I would accommodate my English language learner and also a couple of students with learning disabilities in my 5th period classroom. I wanted to add a little bit to that. I also have one student with dyslexia, which can really affect a student's reading level. Fortunately, he's right where he needs to be. However, just because he's all caught up right now doesn't mean that he can't fall down. So I have to make sure as a new educator, as an educator in general, to make sure to keep an eye on his progress and to also look out for my other students who are struggling readers who are not quite up to level. Now, other ways that I can accommodate the diversity of learners and difference in reading levels in my classroom is to pair good readers with struggling readers. And so this way, struggling readers have somebody that they can always turn to for help if I'm not right there immediately to answer questions. The good readers also benefit from this solution. If they can teach it to a classmate, then that means that they're really learning the information. Now, I also have two GT students in my fifth period classroom. Now, it's okay to have them help their classmates every now and then, but what you don't want to do is to have to rely on them every single time. It's not fair to them, and really it's not fair to their classmates, right? Because they should be getting your help. They should be getting help from the person who has gone to school, who is certified to teach, right? You don't always want to use them as sort of mini teachers, but it's okay to do it every now and then. What you do want to do for your GT learners is to have alternative assignments for them. And what I mean by alternative assignments is not necessarily extra work, but different work. Um, they need to have activities that allow and give them room to be creative. What you don't want to have is your GT students bored in a classroom because they already know and understand the material. You know, whenever this happens, it means that we, like the education system, us teachers, are failing that student. And, our job is to make sure that every single one of our students is learning. Every day they walk into that classroom, they should be learning something. Even the GT students who are, gifted and talented. Now, one thing that could be interesting is to have a group project, a project-based learning assignment, and have all the GT students work together to see what they come up with. And sometimes you could group your GT students with the struggling students, and the struggling students can learn from the GT students. But you can also do the reverse and have the GT students work together. So it's just something to keep in mind.
It's Mr. Man here again, and I just wanted to talk about some students that may be living in poverty, because I know that I have a few students that have a free or reduced lunch, and I just want to try to keep an eye out for those students, because a lot of times them coming to school and having lunch is probably the only time that they'll ever eat, because a lot of times they won't even have 3 meals a day, or under certain circumstances they probably won't even have a chance to eat lunch at all. So what I would like to do is have a drawer full of snacks, and I would just discreetly tell them that after noticing some signs of fatigue or comments about hunger, that it'll be okay to go and look through the drawer, see if they want to take any snacks or anything like that. But I tell them to keep it on the D-low, because I don't want them to get crazy, and also to not tell the other students, otherwise they would just go through and take free snacks, and the ones that really need it won't be able to get a chance to get it. Like, if they want, they could just take a few snacks, but can't have my Girl Scout cookies, because those are just a favorite of mine. Also, for any materials that they need, some of them can't afford extra things like scratch paper or pens and pencils, so I'd always make sure to have a few pens around the room to keep for handiness. And also, for they can't afford any books for reading or class set, I always make sure to have some on hand for them too, because teens really love books that are made into movies. They'll read the Dickens out of that.